alright everyone, this is kind of random, I'm about to head out, but yeah, I apologize in advance if the lighting is bad in the video. I believe I said that it was like a last minute thing, which I had to throw together, so you guys know to subscribe to PewDiePie and unsubscribe to T-Series, help PewDiePie win, but doesn't really matter, sorry for the lighting if it's bad. I'm not really sure about the editing. I don't know if Alex is going to edit it himself. I believe he is going to, but you know, he could get lazy or something, I don't know. But if he does not, the video is probably going to be poor quality, not edited at all, just 3 clips thrown together, because this clip is going to be one, and then the clip where I explain everything is another one. These were all one-take things, and then the 10-minute thing where I just said subscribe to PewDiePie is another thing. It's just 3 clips, so I have to hurry up. I gotta head out. See, I can't even speak now, but I gotta head out. Yeah, subscribe to PewDiePie. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, that's it. Bye. Alright everyone, it's taken me far too long to make this video. It's been over 2 hours, not even including the 10 minutes where I said PewDiePie, but I'm going to show that in a minute. First I gotta explain this, which I did, but I didn't really do it in a nice way that people could like understand. Alright, so basically there is this corporation in India named T-Series, right? And then there's this YouTuber, a single person named PewDiePie. Now PewDiePie has over 80-something million subscribers, I think over 87 million. And T-Series is not too far behind him. He's only 54,000. They are only 54,000 behind PewDiePie. Now T-Series is a music and movie corporation in India, and it's like the only one there. So pretty much everyone subscribes to T-Series there. And so PewDiePie is somehow in the lead. He actually lost it for about 10 minutes because YouTube did a sub purge. He was down by 2,000. Then he was back up. Now, multiple times T-Series was projected to beat PewDiePie, and it didn't work because of people like Mr. Beast, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, all these different people. There's too many names. So, they all did their part in helping raise awareness for this event and telling people to subscribe to PewDiePie, which is what I did as well. I'm subscribed to PewDiePie on like all of my accounts. I've got like 12 different accounts. So I'm subscribed to PewDiePie on all of them, and yeah, so I guess just subscribe to PewDiePie and unsubscribe to T-Series if you're subscribed for whatever reason. I gotta go do my homework. I spent way too much time on this video. So yeah, here is a 10-minute clip of me saying subscribe to PewDiePie. Yeah. Alright. Subscribe to PewDiePie, 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 subscribe to subscribe to PewDiePie, 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 I can't even say it anymore. Subscribe to PewDiePie, 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 I'm almost done my water. Subscribe to PewDiePie. 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 I can't even say it. Subscribe to PewDiePie. 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 PewDiePie. Subscribe to 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 PewDiePie. Alright, I think that was like 10 minutes. But yeah, so if you didn't get the point here, subscribe to PewDiePie. Once again, no, you boo T-Series. We don't like T-Series. They are trying to take over YouTube. We want PewDiePie to win. Subscribe to PewDiePie. Once again, subscribe to PewDiePie. Yeah, I think that's it. This is how I did my part. I already subscribed with multiple accounts, many accounts, and I just said subscribe to PewDiePie for 10 minutes straight. So, I think I did my part. So, Jack, you know who you are, Jack. Daniel, oh, I can't say his last name. Daniel, Daryl, you know who you are. Yeah, subscribe to PewDiePie. Oh, shout out to Jesse Dugard. He's a kid who goes to my school. He is #1 PewDiePie fan, or I guess whatever you want to call him. He's been asking my teachers to subscribe to PewDiePie, so he's a real one. But yeah, subscribe to PewDiePie.